Thank you so much for having me here. Let me start by eating one of these, which is a rather unorthodox start, but I'll tell you why. Dutch chocolate. So, I wanted to start by saying that I don't always look like this, with the left half of my face much heavier than the right. And this is the long-term consequence of my pleasurable short-term actions, such as eating excessive chocolates. And this is important. This was a dental operation I had yesterday. This is important because this is exactly the one thing that best encapsulates what's been going on, not just in the financial sector, but equally importantly with our politicians. Politics and governance has become as short-term oriented, if not even more so, than the financial sector. And we as citizens are all going to be paying the price. I want to start with three things. One is this idea of short-termism. The second, the parable you have all heard of the 5 blind men and the elephant, one of whom sees the trunk, the other one thinks the elephant is a tree, the other one thinks the elephant is a snake, etc. And the last one, think of a balloon. And I'll tell you why these are important. I'm going to quickly talk about 4 things. One, what has brought us here, and my own experience having worked with several of the governments and institutions throughout the euro crisis and the financial crisis. Second, where we are now. Third, what's possible in terms of what may happen over the near term. And fourth, what ought to happen instead. So, after I quit the financial industry, I remember one of the first big speeches I held was here in Amsterdam in 2005. And I was interviewed by Volkskrant after. At that point, I was campaigning for 4 things, some of that with Sven Giegold here. One was to tackle tax havens. A second was to tackle excessive levels of sovereign debt and to have an international way of tackling when countries could no longer pay their debt. The third was financial reform. And the fourth was to try and impose a financial transaction tax. So Volkskrant had a very good 1-page interview with me, at the end of which they said, is Sony Kapoor like Don Quixote, tilting at the windmills? I will not answer that question, but what is interesting is we have come a long way in 7 years. Not always for the good, but there is hope. Now, how did we get here? The euro was, and as I think the Groenlux, yourself, you were opposed to the particular creation of the euro because you thought it was an incomplete monetary area, and some of what you said back then has turned out to be true. The euro was imperfect construction, primarily a political one, done with the hope that if the proverbial shit hit the fan, people would see sense, and we would move on and take the next step towards logical integration. The shit did hit the fan, and we have hesitated to take that step. And that's exactly where we are now. So, when the euro was put together, you had several countries, some of which were richer, some of which were poorer. And the logic and the attraction of the euro was convergence. These countries were going to converge. If you take together a poor country and a rich country, and the poor country is going to catch up, it will mean that it will grow faster. If it grows faster, it almost inevitably means that there is going to be higher inflation, people are going to be feeling optimistic, house prices are going to be rising, financial asset prices are going to be rising, and so on and so forth. And this becomes a virtuous circle. What happens is, if interest rates are then set as they are by a single institution such as the European Central Bank, in an area where the big economies are the old, mature economies that are growing slower, that means almost inevitably that the bias for monetary policy is to have interest rates too low. And this also means that the idea of the countries that are catching up, the optimism, the interest rates which are effectively negative, wherein if you borrow 100 euros today to invest in a house, the prices of which are rising, you only need to pay back 95 euros in 2 years' time. I will borrow, Sven will borrow, you will borrow, no matter who says. Everybody enjoys the party, and it's very, very hard to stop it. So think of several airport trolleys that have different sizes of wheels. And the two logical, stable solutions are either you put them together with metal bars, so there's only one big trolley, in which case they don't separate, or you allow for some flexibility between them. But what we have right now is an unstable, happy, unhappy, middle, where you have instability because we don't know which of these two forks in the road we are going to be taking. Is this the beginning of the end, or is the end of the beginning for the euro?